Hey folks, this is Steve Vai, and I'm here on this radio show From Surfing to Shockwave, brought to you by Ibanez Guitars, and it is a conversation with the one and only Joe Satriani, talking about his career from surfing, his first record, well, sort of first record, to his last record, Shockwave. And I'd like to introduce Joe, my mentor and my dear friend, and here we are. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And we're sitting here at the Harmony Hut studio.
This is a beautiful studio.
Thank you.
You know, it not only does it look amazing, but every time I come here, I think I can make a record here.
Yeah.
I just got to figure out how to kick you out.
I'll tell you what. I'll go on your tour. I'll do your camp. You come here, make a record.
I'll make a record.
It's like musical chairs. Our whole life has been sort of musical chairs together.
That's right. Yeah.
And I remember the very first musical chairs we sat in together. We'll talk about that story.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been in, well, technically Westbury.
Westbury. Mm-hmm.
Right? Westbury, Long
1972. That's when I first started that's when I decided I'm going to play the guitar, because I always wanted to play it, but I heard Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin, and that was it. And then my friend that lived 2 doors down, John Sergio.
That's right, yeah.
I went to his house, and he had a guitar, and he was playing it, and I couldn't believe that there was somebody in my town, on my street, that could actually play the guitar. And I said, "You must be the best guitar player in our whole town." And he said, "If you think I'm good, you should see my teacher, Joe Satriani." And he gave me your phone number. And that's how it started.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Lessons up in the bedroom. And, yeah, I hope I wasn't too hard on you.
Oh, you would. Well, when you're first, folks, you got to understand. I have what I call the Vai advantage, because I was able to sit 3 feet away from Joe for 3 years. And, yeah, you were hard. Well, no, not hard. You were strict. You expected me to learn various fundamental things, which I had a block in my head for memorizing things and trying to figure that kind of stuff out. So, but you set me straight, and I still have the lessons to prove it.
Is that right? Wow, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you were a great student. I always thought you were destined for greatness anyway, so it was a joy to teach you. I was, the luckiest teacher ever, because you don't want unmotivated students. You want people with the drive, with creativity, and hopefully it comes with great motor skills and great talents for listening, and just general good musicianship. And you had that all going for you, and and look what you've done with it. It's amazing.
Well, it's, as you know, it's so many wonderful co-creative opportunities and learning experiences. I mean, we had the same teacher in high school, music
That's right,
teacher.
Bill Westcott.
Tell us about Bill.
Well, Bill, I don't know how he landed at Carr Place High School.
I know, right?
A great pianist, trained at Juilliard, and he winds up in this little public high school, and there's a bunch of heavy metal kids, you and me and all our friends. We just want to play Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And but somehow he ignited the interest to discover the secrets of music.
Yeah.
Just through his nature. And I don't know how he got us to shut up and sit down and pay attention, but he did. And I guess there was a handful of us who were fascinated with what he knew and what he might be able to teach us.
Yeah.
That I do still consider secrets of music, because he was passing on great music theory, the tenets of great musical creation that had been learned and gathered and passed on for hundreds of years. And there it was, this little public high school, and you and I are getting this knowledge and bringing it back to our basements and somehow getting it into the Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath covers we're doing with our bands. And
well, interesting for me, I was learning all that stuff from Bill, and he was kind of incredibly gifted.
Yeah.
Because you would write something, and he would play it, and he'd say, "Well, this is what it's like backwards," and he'd read it back. This is an inversion, and he'd play it upside down. So he was teaching us all this great theory, and I was using it, but I wasn't applying it to the guitar. It wasn't until I actually started taking lessons from you, where you started showing me these things he was teaching us, how to apply it to the guitar. And you when you started, You actually started the day that you found out that Jimi Hendrix passed away. Right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I was on the football team, and suited up, and on my way out of the gym, and one of my teammates mentioned to me that that guy that I was really into had passed away.
Oh, so you had listened. You were listening to him when he was alive.
Yes, yeah. I was a big fan. I got all the records from my older sisters. They were living the '60s, and I got the hand-me-down records. So. I was a total Hendrix freak by then, and devastated by his death. And that was the day I quit the football team and decided I'm going to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what that was like at dinner, big Italian family, and I stood up and said, "Guess what, everybody? I'm going to be a guitar player."
Thank God.